everybody. It's a gorgeous day here in beautiful Woodland as we are back. Monsoon Live is back right here on YouTube. I'm your host, Jeffrey the Monsoon Machine Mysick, and today, for our first show back from our mid-season break, I had a chance to interview a very special guest, a very good friend of mine, Mr. Josh Adams, one of the local pro wrestlers on the indie circuit. Here's my exclusive with Mr. Josh Adams. Hey everybody, Monsoon here. I'm with one of my friends who I've talked to on Facebook, who I've actually seen some of his great matches in the independent pro circuit, Mr. Josh Adams. Josh, welcome to Monsoon Live. I'm going to ask you a couple questions. I want to know, what got you into pro wrestling?
Well, I've been into it my whole life. I mean, there's pictures of me, as a baby at the beach with the wrestling toys, and they were just big shitty rubber wrestlers stuck like this. I mean, I'm not somebody that got into it during the Attitude Era or anything. I got into it then, and it never stopped. That was my thing growing up. I didn't really get in too much trouble. I was kind of a kid who was content, playing with his wrestling toys, and putting together his own matches and, his own company with his figures. I kind of was busy with that.
Who inspired you to go into wrestling?
It's hard to really say. I think I was into it as a whole. Being a guy who's not huge, I remember in 2006 when Rey Mysterio won the Royal Rumble and then went to Mania and won the title. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't love Rey Mysterio or anything, but a guy that size, the fact that the biggest company in the world would put that much on him made me go, damn, I'm not the biggest guy, but if that guy that size can get that much given to him, maybe I can get a little something for a guy my size,
I know you've worked for many independent circuits, companies. What titles have you held?
I've held a few. Here's a funny thing with me and titles. I've never really legitimately lost any title I've ever had. The first title I ever had that I won back in 2009 was led to a title unification bout where I lost my title by a countout. And then the other two titles that I had, unfortunately, those companies, they had their backstage issues, whatever it is that caused them to go under, but they went under, and I still had a belt. So I've never really legitimately lost any title I've ever had. It bothers some, but titles only matter so much. We all see plenty of events where the main event is not a title match. So they're important, but they're not that important.
Well, I asked one of the guys who I've interviewed, Crazy Shay, and it was one of these questions that a lot of people said, why would you ask this? But who would you like to face? You could face anybody in TNA, WWE, anybody out there. Who would you like to face? Any match, any opponent in that.
Is this people that are current workers?
I would say, well, we can do both, current and then as a whole.
And being that I a lot of my influence as a worker right now is a lot of the old school heels, most notably a Ric Flair, people like that. I feel like my dream would be to work a really well-known babyface that I can shine up, that can look good as he's kicking my ass all around, whatever it may be. I mean, somebody now, man, it's hard to say, I have so many people that I work closely with that I would like to have matches with on bigger stages. I feel like I could give you people from back in the day more. You know what I mean? Any heel would love to get beat all around the ring by the Rock and Roll Express, or classic tag teams like that were good at firing up on somebody and get the crowd lit. Look at Sting back in the day when he still had the blonde hair. When he fired up on somebody and Jim Ross lost his shit on the commentary, you wanted to be that heel that he was kicking all over the ring. You don't really have that anymore. We don't have spots and scenes and things like that these days. That's why I don't think I can give you a reference. I don't know anybody, you know what I mean? It's tough. It's just not the same.
What advice do you give folks who want to get into the sport?
I get asked that a lot. A lot of random people will message me on Facebook and ask me that question, and what I tell them is, There's a lot of wrestling schools in the country, not nearly as many as karate or anything else, but they are around the country, but some are in irrelevant territories where you're not getting good training and you're not working around enough good people. You know, luckily I'm in the tri-state area, which is the hottest area in the country for independent wrestling and kind of pro wrestling in general. So I tell them, if you're in a crappy area of the country, you know, if you're in Nebraska or Idaho or something and you want to be a pro wrestler, you better get your ass out of there. And if you really want to band up, you need to relocate. You know, I got lucky and I was somewhat in the vicinity of things, but you know, you need to move and you need to prepare to really put your all into this. I see so many people get into it and give up, and it's just, you know, it's...
Well, I know I follow you on Facebook. I get all the upcoming events. What events do you have coming up in April and May that maybe some of the folks out there can go to? Or I know the dojo ones are always on streaming.
Yeah. Every Wednesday you have CZW Dojo Wars from the CZW Academy in Blackwood, New Jersey. They also do mega shows. There's going to be a mega show that takes place outside of the school in early April. There's going to be one of them. You know, I have an event April 30th. Dude, you know, what I have now, if you talk to me in 2 weeks, I'd have even more dates. They constantly pop up. I mean, May, you know, I have dates in May. I'm going to wrestle twice on May 21st in 2 different states in one day. And then later that week, you know, I'll wrestle again on Wednesday. And then I'll wrestle again on Sunday in Toms River, New Jersey. I mean, dude, I'm constantly, you know, all over the place. There's a lot of dots on that map, you know, when it comes to being around, you know, the East Coast or New Jersey especially.
Now, my last question, I was going to end with the old Undertaker one, but I have to ask this. Where did you get the finisher, the flat crab? Because I always see you posting that, and I'm like, where did that come from?
To be honest, I mean, I didn't come up with it. You know, I think every legitimate move has been done, and has been done for decades, to be honest. You know, what you try to do is have a move that people don't already see on a weekly basis on WWE TV or something like that. My move was actually taught to me by Drew Gulak, who is one of the best catch wrestling, technical, professional wrestlers in the world today. He has traveled the world, and he has learned many things, and you know, that's who taught it to me, and that's fine with me because his name carries a lot of bearing, you know, and they let me have this move and he doesn't go and just do it on the same show I'm on, even though he knows how to do it and taught it to me, you know what I mean? And it's become my thing, but it's nice because when people see the videos online of it, they love it because they haven't seen it already. It's something cool, it's something new, you know, and I'm happy that I can have something like that.
Well, I want to say thank you for joining us. Folks, we'll be posting more upcoming events with him, and you never know, he might appear on a special edition of Monsoon Live in real...
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about some plans, but for now, catch you guys later. Well, guys, that was another amazing interview with a very good friend of mine, Mr. Josh Adams. Next week, something very unique, something that we're very excited about right here, coming up on Monsoon Live. But for now, as always, have a great week. We'll see you next week right here, Monsoon Live. Keep it real. Later days.